You are listening to GZR, Ground Zero Radio, the very best of Orange County's original music scene and beyond. Everybody doing?
Hey, how about that?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Jeez.
Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you.
Is that the New Year song?
That's the birthday song.
Oh.
Hey.
Well, it's the birth of a new year, so
We'll take what we can get, right?
Well, Happy New Year, everyone.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to have a fantastic 2 hours of original music and interviews, and it's going to be fun. Mike, what's happening with the music news?
Well, gosh, happy National Hangover Day. I think maybe it's Worldwide Hangover Day.
Probably so.
It's also surprisingly, or not surprisingly, National Bloody Mary Day, but... anyhow, I think the hangovers came first. Today in music history, 1959, Johnny Cash plays one of his first jailhouse shows when he performs to San Quentin. Among those in the captive audience is Merle Haggard, who was serving time for burglary.
Oh, wow.
And apparently he states that as kind of like his amazing moment.
Aha moment.
Yeah.
I can do this.
Yeah.
Huh. And he did.
Yep,
Big time.
and he did. And also in this
That's pretty cool.
In history, in 1972, Three Dog Night becomes the first rock band to ride on a float in the Rose Bowl parade. 3 of their hits, including, of course, Joy to the World, played on a loop as they traversed the route. It's the FTD, the flower delivery service float that actually won the grand prize that year.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were telling them, a couple of guys in Blood, Sweat, and Tears were saying, hey, I wouldn't pay to do, or, you couldn't pay me to do that. And
then all of them jumped on the bandwagon.
Well, they all said, how many billions of people around the world were watching. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyhow, notable birthdays this week. Today, happy birthday goes out to Joe McDonald of the Country Joe and the Fish. Wednesday, John Paul Jones of Led Zeppelin and Stephen Stills. On the wall.
Yep, there. Photo.
I'm pointing. Again, everybody loves when I point. Thursday, we got happy birthday goes out to Patty Loveless and Michael Stipe. Friday, happy birthday to Marilyn Manson. And Saturday, I had to make it to Saturday, Kim Wilson, the singer of the Fabulous Thunderbirds.
Oh, good.
Quite the front man. Happy birthday, Kim.
Amazing.
And here's just a couple local shows coming up this weekend. As we know, everybody goes dry January, so shows are maybe slowing down a little bit, but this weekend, Friday, we got the Eagles at the Kia Forum. Mm-hmm. They're going to be playing multiple days. Also, Saturday, we got TSOL over here at the Observatory and Poison the Well at House of Blues Anaheim. And then Sunday and Monday, Madonna will be at the Kia Forum. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, isn't that awesome?
Huh.
So anyhow, that's the news.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Mike Karen. As usual, job well done.
So we have a guest all the way from UK. This is Baz Francis from the UK.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm just so much better for being here. You know, that the thing is...
That's good.
I've been speaking with a lot of people recently, and they've been asking where I come from. I was saying that I don't really know the answer to that question anymore because I split my time between California and England, but also tour a lot. And it's just something I'm very proud of, that the radio station that I've played on the most in all my life is KOCI. So,
well, how about that?
I don't really feel like I'm from England in those moments. I've actually come in from my family home in Glendora today. So I love England, and I love my family in England, and I love my friends in England and many aspects of it. But it's
you're from the world.
I'm from the world.
I'm a global basic.
citizen.
You're global. That's the answer to the question.
That
Where are you
is.
from? I'm global.
Hey, I'm global.
Done.
And it sounds like I'm trying to be exotic or trying to make myself sound fancy, but it truly is the case. And it's just very comforting to turn up at KOCI, for example, and to be back home. and like to see Michaela. The last time I saw Michaela, we went out for a meal over in Glendora. She came to visit me because she couldn't make the show I was on back in January of last year with Andre. And that's Andre Tusks of Honeychain. And we've got this long history, both Michaela and I have this long history with here. And I lived in Orange County for a little bit, but I came into town, it was Christmas Eve actually. So very recently. And I haven't really gotten over the jet lag. And just before I was coming here today, I remembered that it's next week that I return to touring in England, and I'm playing in a place called Hull, and it's on the East Coast, and the weather's a lot less sunny than here. So it was kind of like I just had that sort of realization, as of midnight, that's next week. And what's been really nice for me as I was walking up the steps to the station today, I got a message from someone saying, I'll see you shortly in Leicester, England, which is in the Midlands, and it's been a while since I've played there. And someone else said, I'll see you in Bedfordshire next month.
Yeah.
And I didn't realise that I was going to be there because there's so many dates booked on this tour that I'm on. And I was so happy to hear from those guys. And then I got sent a poster with my name on, and I was like, that's really nice to see. And it's hard being away from the ones you love wherever you are in the world. So when I'm in Leicester or Hull or Windsor, I'll be missing you guys in this place. But similarly, when I was at Magic Mountain the other day, I was thinking about my nieces Poppi and Pixie and sending them pictures, because the downside of being a global citizen and from everywhere is you can't be with all the ones you love at the same time. So today I am from right here, and tomorrow I'll be from right there.
We like that. Welcome again.
The global human, indeed. But I think that's the old thing that people try and portray, is that they're so glamorous because they're constantly moving. But any musician who tours will tell you there's very little glamour to the in-betweens at times. But there is great privilege in being able to go and play places that might not even be the most celebrated towns in the world of rock and roll. But it's in some of those places that I've met some of my favorite people. And in fact, I got a New Year's message yesterday from my friend in Munich, who last came to see me play in Prague, who I met when I was playing in San Jose, California.
There you go. Global.
So it's
a very small world, isn't it?
It's a very, and where does her sister live? Southampton, England.
Yeah.
So,
right.
There's really no answer as to what makes a good person, and it certainly has very little to do with where you're from. But the other thing that amuses me is when I tell people that I'm half Californian, as it were, they naturally assume that all of California is just like you're hanging out in Beverly Hills at a swimming pool.
Right.
And it's like, no, there is a lot of disparity here as well. And you can have bad days in California. Did you know that?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
on the freeway every day.
Yeah. I've been in that position many a time. And in fact, on the way here tonight.
I can assume.
Funnily enough, when I moved to Orange County a few years ago, briefly, my keeper junk car broke down in the middle of the freeway just down the road from Fullerton, and it had all my belongings in the car.
Oh boy.
At the time, and it was quite harrowing. And people love to hear that story because A, they like to hear me in discomfort, but B, they go, and it happened in California. That must have been brilliant. And I'm like,
No,
it was not. Believe
Not
it or
at
not,
all.
breakdowns, breakups, all of these things don't magically become better because they're happening underneath a palm tree.
No, that's so
In
true.
fact,
or
knowing
the
my
sun.
knowing my luck with palm trees, I'll get a big branch fall and smash on the car. But the downsides to every place, and similarly with England right now. The other day I went for a run on tour in the north of England, and it was so windy. I came out of the house I was staying in, turned onto the street, and the wind nearly blew me over. And I was running down the road, and this trash can on wheels just flew across the road. And I thought, wow, that would have been really cool to surf on that. But I'm sure it's not so nice when it careers into your car and all.
Right.
So there's all these things. But then there are some people who assume that England's in a permanent state of winter. So
I always thought so.
it's, believe it or not, it's pretty mild there at the moment, which, or was when I left 10 days ago. And it's, it's got some beautiful beaches. It's got some beautiful people. Hi, Mum. And, we do occasionally wear T-shirts, but I'm such a weather wimp that it doesn't matter where I am, I'll complain. So everyone's been sort of huddled around me over the last weeks. I've been complaining about the cold, and they've been going, "Oh, we've got to make sure that Baz is warm. Let's stick an extra layer onto him." And I'm thinking, of all the people coming into town at the moment, I should be the one that's most hardened. But as they very kindly explained to me, you've got no flesh on those bones, and you are a wimp.
There you are.
Guilty as charged.
Well, we are so honored to have you here. And
Likewise.
I'm looking at the music titles, and I'm just excited to hear your music.
Yeah, do you want to play first, or do you want to start off with the song
Sing
file?
you a song.
All right.
Awesome.
So, little introduction. I am from several bands, one of which is no longer Mansion Harlots, but one of which is very much of the present, and that is Magic 8 Ball. And Magic 8 Ball and I are recording a new album at the moment in Wales, in the UK, another destination where I am from, and this is from the third Magic 8 Ball album. And I think it's got some themes in it that, well, one major theme in it that is very relevant to what I was just saying about belonging.
Summer months go, lost beyond the windows of the house. I was stood outside, standing on the pavements, pushing the fallen leaves around in a wind-turned umbrella, strolling down the avenue, looking for someone who's around to help me tie the flag on. When I flew up from New Orleans, I said it's good to be back home in a little cooler weather. What if I told you you're the one thing that's keeping me awake? That's a promise I'd make, and that is one I would keep. If the world's never falling asleep. Oh no, it's not. Read the papers and further to the left of me, just to go and see. It's all the same as what I left. If you take a little at your own discretion, if where I'm from is so good, then why can't I call it home? What if I told you you're the one thing that's keeping me awake? That's a promise I'd make, and then it's one I would keep. If the world's never falling asleep, all the armchairs on the other side of the windows that will never look as good as from here. In confession, there's something that you really ought to know. What if I told you you're the one thing that's keeping me awake? That's a promise I'd make, and then it's one I would keep. If the world's never falling asleep, oh no, cross my heart to keep.
That was
Killer.
fantastic.
Yeah,
We are spoiled.
we are spoiled.
We had like a,
This doesn't happen
private little
often,
concert.
but I'm texting people to make sure they're listening to the show. So if you see me on my phone, that's what I'm doing. I'm pinging people. Listen in, listen in, listen in.
right?
Awesome.
And that
Jeez.
I live streamed that. Is that okay with you?
Oh no, that's terrible. That's terrible.
No press. No press.
The way I look at it is when people come to shows or they see me play and they take photos and videos, I take that as a compliment that they want to share my music. What I do wonder sometimes when people take photos, though, is that photo of my face all smushed up and me looking down and having a double chin with
We
bad
can never
lighting.
get past that.
I'm like, come on, man. Like,
Self-editing.
Did the world need to see that? I don't know
Yeah.
if that benefits the cause, but then it's all about perspective.
Yeah.
You know what? I heard a song on the radio today, and I think this is what I've got to remember. I am beautiful no matter what. they say.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
That's absolutely
Yeah.
right. We agree with that.
Yep.
Agree. Happy New Year to
Happy
you.
New Year.
So, Baz, am I saying that correctly? Am I overthinking it?
Yes. we were having this conversation off air about how in the US when people pronounce my name, they instinctively pronounce it. They instinctively pronounce it one way, which is not how I would pronounce it. However, when they try and pronounce it correctly, it just comes out sounding sarcastic. Baz. And I've got a real chip on my shoulder whenever I'm back home in California because I always think I'm in trouble when people go, Baz.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no, what have I done now? And yeah. But yeah, I get called Baz Francis in America, but I pronounce it Baz Francis. But you can't really. What's the thing they say? It's when as long as people are talking about you, that's
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I say to them, it's Baz, like jazz with a B.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
you go. And now you're going to probably start thinking of jazz music. So if you overthink it,
That's
will.
true. Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's Baz Francis, and someone told me the other day that you're not a Baz because he only assumed that Bazes could be like tough guys and stuff, and I kind of like that about my name in that it's ridiculous that because in England I guess it is associated with a certain type of person like the name Terry or whatever, and I kind of like the fact that people look at me and go, that's a Baz. And when my surname is actually still for the time being from my previous marriage, because I took on her name. It's Hispanic, so that really throws them when they get Baz come along, and he's senor whatever, and they go, hang on, that guy's, is he Mexican? Is he Colombian? And then it's like, hello, how you doing? And
English accent comes flying out.
Anything that screws with people's heads,
I
I will push it to the max. So, yeah.
Well, I think after meeting you for the first time now, you look like your name.
Thank you.
Now we can
That happens,
Yeah.
I take that as a compliment. And my birth name, like I grew out of it, that's just the way it is. I didn't feel that was representative of me, and I had become known as Baz for many years, and then eventually I just made it legal. I just made it a thing. And it was funny, especially when I went to Colombia with my ex, people were actually wanting to see my passport, like within the family, to sort of check, is this guy for real?
Prove it.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my name, and unfortunately, this is also my face.
I love your face.
I love yours too,
Awesome.
darling. See, like I cheaply set myself up.
And look, I was going to ask you this before tonight, but I forgot. So I'm going to ask you now. So all of this talk about how to pronounce your name, and I'm always uber worried that I'm going to say it wrong. Then I got to looking at your initials and thought, oh, why can't I just call you BF? Because you are my BF.
That is true.
Isn't that nice?
That is
See?
true. And
Would that work?
it would work. However, we were watching a documentary earlier, and on Roald Dahl, and he had a book called The BFG. And when I was a kid, we grew up reading the BFG, which stands for Big Friendly Giant. And I am none of the above.
Yeah, I'm not thinking we're putting.
friendly.
Yeah, we're not putting giant into.
I want to hear another song.
I
hear another
agree. Yes.
Okay, let's do this then. Right, I'll put this out there. Solo, Magic 8 Ball, or Mansion Harlots?
You want us to pick?
Yeah, you pick.
Oh.
And he'll play.
Oh, we like doing that.
Oh.
That's one of our favorite things.
Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which one? Well, he's going to play, but you don't want us. You don't want us to pick off of this. You just want us to pick off of which project.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Which project? Oh, Mansion Harlots.
She just wanted to say that.
That actually stems from an insult. When I was a kid, we lived in this big house, and someone said, "Oh, go back to your mansion." And I said, "I may live in a mansion, but I'm a harlot just like the rest of them."
Coming over tomorrow, hang tight to what's on the airwaves through the night. A voice's comfort for the moments to go. It cannot bring you closer, though. Until we work it out tomorrow. Oh no, we'll have to wait until that time in more if you don't want to roll. What's missing here is not soul. I am quite happy to be childlike tonight. In darkness, hiding from the light. Until we work it out tomorrow. Oh no, we'll have to wait until that time. In time.
Wow.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Encore, encore.
Yes.
Should we listen to Poppi Belle?
Would we please listen to Poppi Belle? I just want to give an introduction whilst we're on the Mansion Harlots theme. The video single from the Mansion Harlots album, All Around a Fairground, is the song Pandarize. The voice you will hear at the beginning is my niece, Poppi Belle.
Aw.
And I also wrote a song on the album called Poppi Belle, and she also features on the song on piano, hand claps, and vocals. She features on the song Come Back for More, so she's very much on that album, and I'd like you to hear the song that I wrote in dedication to her now. You climb. Well, you should know that I'm hanging out beside you all the time. Seeing some things you will see when you're older, I'd rather see them with you. 'Cause I think you'd be digging on the very same things too. Dark and getting late, and you were on a solstice date. You're brighter than a solar system. I will always know
reason to remind me so. And that's just as well that I've got enough to say and tell to Poppi Belle. You were there when you don't even remember, and that was sweetest for me. But we're too hot for a monkey and her uncle in your tree. Flowers are where you got your name from, a bunch of what you became. I changed mine, but you wanna love me just the same. And at 6 years of age, we're reading from the same page. You're better than I'll ever become, and I will always know a good reason to remind me so. And that's just as well that I've got enough to say and tell to Poppi Belle. It's not what you've got here. We'll see who's still around this time next year. The winter flowers have grown. With the stones that we toss, on the paths that we cross, you belong to every season, and I will always know a good reason to remind me so. And that's just as well that I've got enough to say and tell. It's just as well I've got enough to say. That's just as well that I've got enough to say and tell to Poppi Belle.
I love it.
God, that's great.
Yeah.
I hope to get to meet her sometime.
You shall indeed. I heard from her earlier, and I can't wait to see her. And again, I messaged her the other day. I was in LA and having a wonderful time, and I just said, and talking about the global citizen element of it, I said that LA's got 1,000,001 great things, but it doesn't have you in it right now. And similarly, it flips when in England too. You know, England's got many great things and many great people, but if you guys aren't there, or my family from the US isn't there, then that's the downside to that. And I found that,
We'll come.
well, I'll hold you
Right?
to that. But the other thing is, the only way you can remedy that is because you, and I call it you'd think that the solution would be to get everyone in the same room at the same time. And I remember at one of my weddings, there have been two, and having all these people I loved from all over the world in one room, and it was so depressing because I could barely speak with anyone, and everyone had to go their own way afterwards. So I realized that the best way to live my life is to be in that state of transit, and thankfully I'm afforded that opportunity to be so. And when I hear Poppi Belle, or I play Poppi Belle, I think of the person behind it. And I think the first time I ever played it in the US was on KOCI.
Wow.
And there's a video of it
That's
on
awesome.
my YouTube channel, or no, the Mansion Harlots YouTube channel. And yeah, of me playing that song here.
And tonight is your 6th time.
My 6th time, and it's just such an honor. It's such an honor that you remember me, you care about me, and it's not just this whole thing where it's like, I'll see you next time. It's an ongoing thing. Like we stay in touch throughout throughout the time in between. And that is what a community is. That's what a musical community is, and that's what friends do. I don't want to dwell on. I'm doing a lot of dwelling right now for the sake of this explanation, but I don't want to dwell on the times in between. I just want to enjoy the moments, but say thank you for keeping those torches burning as they are kept with me, because I was very proud to. I remember I was reading one of Michaela's limericks from the book she kindly gifted me, that sits on my mantelpiece in England, so I look at it every day. And when I got my copy, I thought, well, I'll just show her how easy it is for your great work to travel as well. So I filmed a little video of me reading it.
Nice.
Reading from it in front of Windsor Castle.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh,
Talk-
that's great.
Talk about wow factor.
Yeah.
Well,
That's really cool.
as someone who's actually not a royalist, but has grown up in Windsor, I've kind of reached this point of appreciation where I'm like, you know what, this is a pretty unique and beautiful place. You don't have to necessarily be a fan of monarchy to know that this is pretty cool. And when I was back in England a few years ago, and I was pretty bummed with some situations, and my mum said to me, just imagine that the trees here are palm trees. And I said, no, I don't want to do that. That's not how I want to live my life. When I'm in England, I want to appreciate those mighty oaks. And when I'm in America, I want to appreciate the palm trees and the birds of paradise. And if you go through your life just appreciating the places you're in whilst you're in them, I think that's the healthiest way to be. And I have to remind myself of that daily, because I hate saying goodbye. Wherever that may be. So I'm looking out the window onto Costa Mesa this evening, and we were actually down at Crystal Cove over the weekend. So we were in Orange County then, and we were having a family meal over in Diamond Bar as well on Friday. So Orange County has still got a big role in my life, and it just stands to reason that this station would have such a big part in my music still to this day.
You're right about community. I mean, it is a community station, but beyond that is absolutely a family. And Michaela's created a show here, and we're lucky enough to be co-hosts of it. And I say the same thing. I get a front row seat to a concert every Monday and seeing artists such as yourself, which is just phenomenal. For me as a guitar player, songwriter myself, I get a lesson, and you can see how music transforms people, from one aspect of their life to another and one coast to another. I think the interesting thing is how much you appreciate England. Then you come here to California and appreciate it as well. Two entirely different places, but you can find probably inspiration in both.
Oh, totally. And I was actually saying this at my show in Monrovia the other night. I opened with a song by the band Everclear, and long before I came to California, I fell in love with the place through the depictions in their songs of not necessarily the most glamorous places in this state, but the places that were pertinent to the storyteller in those songs. The thing with that is, and this was quite a lovely epiphany to reach, was a D chord in England is also a D chord in America.
Very good point.
Hey.
So you can start.
Write that down, Tris. He is writing it down.
You can start bands with people all over the globe with that.
No wonder people don't answer me when I ask them how they play a D chord.
Although
is that what's going on?
Although, what do you call this?
Generally, you call it a pick.
I call it a pick now, but it's known as a plectrum in England. And this little device, people go, oh, stop speaking American, because I call it a capo, and they call it a capo in England.
No kidding.
But I worked to the logic that if it was a capo, there'd be 2 P's in it. So as Margaret Thatcher, the awful prime minister we had, once said, we are 2 nations divided by the same language or something.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to give her too much credit.
Let's see. Are you going to play another one for us?
I'm going to play a song from my most recent solo EP. And this is called World Beyond His Feet.
My sweet grandmother's arms hold superstition for me, for all the warmth in her heart. There's cold in my condition, and if the walls of her home could carry memories along, how could I ever have known? That's not the situation. So I wanna know just how many times a man can go down, then to conquer from out of his seats to the world beyond his feet. Nobody home. My dear grandfather's mind has darker places to go, and I still don't want to know if the peace that I'll find comes down to my decision. Still I wanna know just how many times a man can go down, then to conquer from out on the street to the world beyond his feet. The world beyond his feet. The world beyond his feet.
Nice.
So beautiful.
So cool.
I absolutely love that song. Stunning.
All your songs.
Stunning. Yeah. And we get to sit right here and have this private party.
Yeah. What are you doing next Monday?
Well, don't tempt me. This old tart will play whenever he's asked.
So what do you have planned for your 2024?
Well, I would be remiss were I not to mention my next show, which is taking place this coming Friday at Ophelia's Jump Productions in Upland. And we shall be joined on the bill by the brilliant James Stockman on piano opening. Then I'm up, solo. And then it is the return of the mighty Honey Chain, featuring Loy Aubrey Jr., Hilary Burton, and my brother, and my partner in crime the last time I was on the show, Andre Tusks.
Great.
Hey, shout out to Andre.
Shout out to Andre.
Andre.
Get
Hey,
well
Andre.
soon.
Yes, hope you feel better soon. You got more up your sleeve, don't you? You ready to hit the next chord on something.
I'm sure I could sing you another song, couldn't I?
No, it's up to you. We can play one of your song files, or you can play live.
You can play my song files anytime.
That's true. We've got you
Yeah.
live.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to play, since I'm in the process of making a new Magic 8 Ball album with Rachel Newton-John in the south of Wales, which is also the vicinity of where my joint favourite band, Manic Street Preachers, comes from. So it's a place with great musical heritage. I am going to sing another Magic 8 Ball song for you. But I am going to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Dun,
Being
dun,
put on the
dun.
spot. I don't like when this happens.
Which one of us should answer?
Yeah.
You have the choice between having a song from the first Magic 8 Ball album,
Oh.
the second, the third again, or a non-album track.
I know the way I'd go.
The non-album
Yeah.
track.
Yeah.
Well, since you picked the non-album track, what I'm going to do, because I think this is still relevant for another week at least, this is our Christmas single. And I wrote this about how people seem to only love you more when they're getting something. And I think that's a pretty all-year sentiment, isn't it? So, am I that cynical? Maybe. No, not really. But that comes back to what I was saying about Michaela earlier. You're someone who shows me love throughout the year. You're someone I love throughout the year. And that also applies to your beautiful daughter, Bethany. And I'm going to sing this song for our lovely hostess and her lovely daughter. And I'd like to point out that the song I'm going to sing for them has nothing to do with them, because the song is called I Just Love You More at Christmas. So it's a kind of a reverse dedication, the absolute opposite sentiment to how I feel about these guys.
It's been 4 years and counting, and I've never yet been wrong. The money goes a little further since you've been gone. You have me saving an endeavor just for you. You never wanna argue, but the air is always blue. The man, he can do no harm when Santa Claus ain't lost his charm. And I just love you more at Christmas when my love is deep. Hope to see you real late next year, and I just love you more. In all those times when the nights are long, coming back to you. I got a new girl in a dress that fits so tight. Well, she's feeling all self-conscious, and if I just feel alright, I can't resist her when she's looking oh so fine. The hands that do the walking will most probably be mine. Well, the handprints, they were plain to see. You can send the laundry bill to me, 'cause I just love you more at Christmas when my love is deep. Hope to see you real late next year, and I just love you more. In all those times when the nights are long, coming back to you, and I just love you more. Christmas when my love is dead. I hope to see you real late next year, and I just love you, Mom. In all those times when the nights are long, coming back to you, it's always fun.
That was tricky.
Nice.
Awesome.
Well done, sir.
Thank you very much.
Post-Christmas.
Thank you.
Happy New Year
Yes.
and post-Christmas. But as I said, I love you guys all year long.
Awesome. Would you tell our listening audience the best way to find all of your stuff?
I can be found on Instagram at Baz Francis and then the number 8. I'm also on as Baz Francis Music on Facebook. I'm on Twitter as Magic 8 Ball and then the number 8. I'm on various websites. You can find a lot of my work through with Magic 8 Ball and solo on YouTube at I Love Magic 8 Ball. There's a Mansion Harlots YouTube channel as well. You can find Magic 8 Ball Mansion Harlots on Facebook as well, and an assortment of other websites, nefarious and other.
They're out there.
Right.
We can find you. They can find you. They will.
They tried to get rid of me, but I'm all over Google, and I'm just pleased that my latest Google images are more flattering than the ones that showed the aforementioned unpleasant live shots of me looking down and gurning. They've since contemporized it, so I look stunning and smart.
This has been fun.
Thank you so much for stopping by here while you're out here in California. Thank you for joining us and meeting our co-hosts. You see, we have a new team here. And Tris Mahaffey and Mike Karen and myself. We're blessed.
I am blessed, and can I just say hello to Poppi and Pixie back in England?
Gotta do that.
My nieces.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I tell them about California all the time and fill their heads about Uncle Baz's other home. And when they come out here, they know to look you guys up because they've heard all about KOCI Radio as well. So thank you for keeping the community going. Thank you for supporting this member of said community. And thank you for being yourselves, which is beautiful.
Aw, thank you so much. You know what? I think we should go ahead and close out this session with Come Get Your Kicks. This is off of which Magic 8 Ball album?
Last of the Old Romantics.
Perfect. Come Get Your Kicks by Magic 8 Ball.
Between the lines we read, Lost beyond the windows of the house, I was stood outside, standing on the pavement, pushing the fallen leaves around in a wind-upturned umbrella. Strolling down the avenue, looking for someone who's around to help me tie the flag on. When I come up from New Orleans, I said it's good to be back home in a little cool weather. What if I told you you're the one thing keeping me awake? That's a promise I'd make, and then it's one I would keep. If the world's never falling asleep. Oh no, it's not. Read the papers and further to the left of me just to go and see it's all the same as what I left. If you take a little at your own discretion, if where I'm from is so good, then why can't I call it home? What if I told you you're the one thing keeping me awake? That's a promise I'd make, and then it's one I would keep. If the world's never falling asleep. All the arches on the other side of the windows that will never look as good as from here. In confession, there is something that you really ought to know. I'd make, and then it's one I would keep. If the world's never falling asleep. No, no, cross my heart to keep. To say and what should not be said. There's pixies in the garden and flowers by the bed. If you need some ground to stand on and there's not enough where you're looking from, just go where you're free to roam. And the trees let the bees have their very own. It's getting to the point where it's all been said. When the books that you've read have told you what to say and what should not be said. There's pixies in the garden and flowers by the bed. My roses are dead. My roses are dead. That you've read have told you what to say and what should not be said. There's pixies in the garden, flowers by the bed. My roses are dead. My roses are dead. You're listening to KOCI Radio, the Ground Zero Show with Michaela Compton on KOCIRadio.com and 101.5 in the Costa Mesa area. See you next time. This is Baz Francis wishing you all a wonderful 2024.
You were listening to GZR, Ground Zero Radio. Follow us on social media and every Monday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Time on KOCI 101.5.